while a nice pair of boots can look nice, for the summer they won't be that comfortable. In today's list, it's going to be a very short one. We're going to be discussing my favorite summer shoes, and I think you'll find them very intriguing, and I did cheat on one, so that's interesting. Let's get started. So let's move on to number one. This here, of course, will be the classic white leather sneaker. This one's actually the Thursday model, just to be specific, but we're talking about general. We're talking about in general. I chose this one because although it's been a trend for the last few years, I think it's a trend that's here to stay. It's going to become a staple in most men's wardrobes for the coming future. I say this because it's a simple silhouette. There's very little confusion as to how you can wear this. They go with anything. And if they're fully leather lined like this one, they're really comfortable for the summer. The problem with most sneakers or tennis shoes is that most of them have a cloth lining, and that's not going to go well with feet sweating during the summer. You usually end up with a very stinky foot. But with leather, that's much less of an issue, especially if you keep them in shoe trees, or they sell these little shoe bags that absorb moisture, so that'll help too. So this is my number one pick so far. This is the white leather sneaker. Okay, so number two is a kind of like the sneaker, but it's a bit more traditional. What I've chosen here is a moccasin. Now, I'm not saying it should be like this, like a Sebago campsite like these are, but they can be a boat shoe, they can be a driving mock, they can be anything that has this sort of mock stitch and that's unlined. I say this because the mock stitch allows for a very roomy feel up here, and it allows for an easier break-in because you're getting all this leather wrapped around your foot in the moccasin construction. And I say unlined because you don't want, especially in a shoe that's already a little thicker, already a little more heavy duty, you don't want something that's very thick for the summer for the same reasons as that cloth interior. It's going to be very sweaty in there. So the unlined really allows for a very breezy feel. Of course, with these specifically, these are my Sebago campsites, as I said. They have a nice summery color and a nice tan, very honey brown almost, and a nice red brick sole. And they're stitched too, so that's pretty fun. This is a good cheap alternative to, say, a Rancor or a Quaddy or an Oak Street Bootmaker. So this is my number two pick, the moccasin shoe. So number three is, I kind of cheated a little bit. I said we normally don't wear boots during the summer, but we do. There is one, and I'm sure we've all thought of it. It's the desert boot. This one is the Clark's desert boot, to be specific. The desert boot is just synonymous with hot weather, with a nice, simple, stitched down construction, a very cushiony crepe sole that does well on hot pavement and things like that. It's a fantastic boot for the summer. It's also unlined for the most part. Most of them are anyways. And it's just very simple, very crude. I say these are airy because sometimes I'll be driving with these, and I have the AC pointing to my feet, and I'll actually freeze my feet a little wearing these. So it just shows how nice and breezy they are. And plus, it's kind of like the white sneaker in that it is a staple, but this has been around for decades. You can wear this with so many things, and I feel like this is probably the first boot most guys get when they get into dressing up a little more. There's really a reason why it's on the Reddit male fashion advice as their profile picture. It's just synonymous with the good style. So this is my number three pick. So my number four pick, I actually had to take off. I'm wearing them right now. It's the suede loafer. I'm being very vague with these. I don't want to choose any specific brands because there's so many good choices. But I chose Meerman because Meerman provides very good value for the price that you're getting them at. Now, I'm saying a suede loafer because it has a very casual feel to it, but also very dressy because it is a loafer. Especially if it's a penny loafer like these, it's a very dressy look, very dressy last as well. But that's besides the point. and these can do well for during the summer if you need to dress up, but you don't want to go too crazy and get like an Oxford or something like that. You can go with something like this, something very classy looking, and just a great dress up piece. Anything I put this on with really just elevates the look. And plus, the cool thing about these specifically is that they're unlined and they're unstructured, so they make for a very comfortable summer shoe. Those are two factors I would look for a loafer during the summer. So this is my number 4 pick, a suede penny loafer, more preferably unlined and unstructured. Let's lastly get into number 5. Number 5 is a dress shoe. There are going to be occasions where you have to, be nicer than a nice suede loafer, but you don't want to go for a black Oxford either. It's the summer, especially if it's an outdoor sort of thing. In this case, I chose my long wing Bluchers. These are, of course, my Hanovers. They're fantastic. They're vintage, so you can't really get this shoe specifically anymore. But there are plenty of manufacturers today that make them. Now, when I say formal shoe, and it can be anything, but it has to be, well, it has to be, but for the summer I prefer a lighter color. Because once again, it just goes with the theme of summer. This one's like a nice brown. I think last video I said cognac, and that's about right. It would be around that range, maybe a little lighter. But there's plenty of options too. There's Oxfords, there's a brogue, any sort of brogue, whether it's a quarter brogue, a half brogue, a full brogue, cap toe Oxford, or anything like that. But I like to point out 2 more obscure choices, but very cool choices. The first one I'd say is a nice suede buck. We're going back to suede. It's a more casual texture, but what you get is a very fantastic looking shoe, very classic. It was very popular around the 30s and 40s, going up to the 50s even. And that's just a classic look. Nice suede tan upper and a red brick sole, usually. Nowadays there's more variation. And of course, the second choice, was talking about the 50s earlier, would be the saddle shoe. The saddle shoe was once again an old staple back then. It's just something a lot of people had, especially during the 50s. That's when it really rose in popularity. Nowadays, with men's fashion anyways, it's not really as popular, but it's a great off-the-hand choice if you want to stand out of the crowd. Personally, I do like them, but I prefer them all in one color, not like the usual brown and black or anything like that. I do know they're very popular with women's fashion, however, so that's pretty neat, and just a nice obscure choice as well. And that's my number 5 choice. Alright, so these are the 5 picks, my favorite summer shoes. And in general, you just want to look for something that's very airy, very comfortable, and sometimes unlined. Although, in the case of the sneaker, a lined shoe would be better. If there's anything else that you guys thought of, maybe that I didn't think of as far as shoes or boots for the summer, let me know in the comments. I'd like to see what y'all can come up with. And of course, I'll plug in my wallets once again. If y'all are interested, I do sell the wallets. They're $20. Again, veg tan leather and hand stitched, saddle stitched. So it's a decent deal. I mean, I made them myself. They're by no means perfect, but they get the job done. Today I'm not wearing it, but I do wear it pretty often. And I don't know if you can see, but there's some key marks back here, so it's gonna age pretty well too. Okay, guys, thank you for watching the Average Finds channel. If you're interested in anything, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. And once again, just let me know in the comments. Let's get some interaction going, see what you all think. And I'll see you on the next one.